My Stream Deck was being a fool.
Yeah. No, it was a few last minute things before we get everyone on. I just wanted to because I know that the live stream only on here at least they used to you could only go so many minutes after the schedule before it shut you off. So
Yeah.
oh,
I gotta find my remote. What in the world? Hang on a second.
no problem.
What? Where? Okay. Where are you at? There you are. Gotta turn my lights on.
There we go.
Had to get my RGB on.
There you go. There you go.
Sweet. Whew.
Yeah.
Boy, it's hot here today.
It was pretty. We had thunderstorms here last couple of nights. And,
yeah.
But it got pretty warm today. Got up in the 80s. But humid
tomorrow.
Yeah. One town about an hour from us got golf ball size hail.
Ooh, I bet that hurt on a motorcycle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. This thing is beefy.
Whoa.
It's freaking cool though.
That is awesome.
Freaking cool. Like even the Chiss get a whole 2-page.
Oh, nice
layout. Like, yeah, it's freaking cool, dude.
Yeah.
This thing is wild. But it still basically admits that the Last Jedi timeline is all messed up.
Oh, man.
You know how Rey was on Octu for like 3 days?
Yeah.
And the Resistance was running from the First Order for like 6 hours, 8 hours, something like that. Yeah. No, according to that, all happens at the same time. Doesn't make sense. But what do I know? I'm just a Star Wars fan.
Exactly.
I don't know anything.
No, you just have a whole podcast and a whole, yeah.
Oh boy.
What do you know?
Dude, I love my comic book shop because they I went to get my pull file on Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I wanted to, there was a free comic book that was canon. And I was like, I have to get a copy of it, right? Because I've never missed an issue. And so I get there and I'm like halfway through the line and they make the announcement, Star Wars High Republic is out. And I'm like, no, like, how am I going to get this comic? And so I was like, I guess I'll just get my pull file because I was just going to order it offline if I could find it. And then they gave me my pull file and there was a copy in it. And they're like, oh yeah, we pulled one yesterday to put in there for you because we knew that one was going to go fast. And I'm like, you guys are the best. I love you guys.
So unfortunately, I missed the Clone Wars panel at the con.
Oh no!
I didn't take consideration time difference between where I'm at. Indy's in Eastern time zone, and I didn't take in consideration that. So we got there like an hour too late. I'm like, are you kidding me? The whole thing was just like, I don't know. Like it was fun, but I was the whole time, you know, thinking like, okay, got to make sure Lily doesn't run off, keep an eye on her, you know. And there's Joe Cahill. Joe, how are you?
Hey, brother, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you? He's wearing his Imperial. I see.
Yes, of course I am. I was always the Imperial side when I was a
That's
co-host.
right. Yeah. Speaking of which, I need to I need to change into an appropriate shirt myself.
So, Brian, hey, nice
How's
to
it
meet
going?
you. Good. We haven't done a show with him. But
oh yeah,
we haven't done one together, have we?
We have.
Oh, we did.
I think. Well, maybe not.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not. I've slept since then, so maybe we haven't.
I don't know. Maybe the beard growing me.
Right.
Seems like it's longer than it was.
There we go.
Oh, we just lost Brian.
I see that. I see it. So how you been?
I have been pretty well.
Good.
Just working my tail off on
Yeah.
projects
Yeah, that's
and
good.
doing everything I can because I'm also attending school full time.
Oh wow, what are you taking?
I am going after my master's in criminal
Oops.
justice.
Ooh, nice.
Didn't mean
So
to.
we're not
hang
going to
up
be
on
so
y'all.
family friendly tonight.
That's
Oh.
fine.
Did not mean to hang up on y'all.
Yeah, you did.
Lies. Didn't.
Oh,
Well,
so
why
who else
would I
will be
hang up?
joining us?
Why would I hang up in the middle? of being-
Well, Garrett is joining us, and later on, Will, I can never pronounce his last name. Darth Tuba is what he goes by. Will be joining us also.
Cool.
So yeah, we're just waiting on Will. Like I said, Will is going to be joining us a little bit later on, and I'm not sure how long we'll go or what the plan is, but I was just telling Brian I went to my first con this past Saturday, and it was an adventure.
They're a blast, aren't they?
Well, we missed the panel I was wanting to go see.
Uh-oh.
They had a Clone Wars panel where they had most of the voice actors for Clone Wars were going to be there, and I didn't take in consideration the time change between here and Indianapolis where it was at. And so we were late, and then I paid $38 for a day pass, but no one was there scanning tickets. There was nobody there. I just walked in and I'm like, did I just waste? I got done with it, and I took my daughter, who's 8. So I spent the entire time, trying to keep an eye on her. And it was I think for both of us, a little overwhelming. We weren't sure what was going on, what we were supposed to be doing, or where to go. So I think next time, if I go next time, I'll do things a little bit differently, But it was still fun. She had a good time. She
just come
she-
down
she
here to
enjoyed
Texas,
seeing
and
people.
I'll come to Texas, and I'll meet you at one of the big cons here and show you around.
Yeah. All right. We were actually in Texas this past September. We
Stop
were down
and
in
look all the way
Houston. We took
And you
a
didn't
cruise,
call
and we
me
were
and
down
Ray?
in Houston. I think I mentioned something to Ray, but you guys were different. We were only there for like a day each time because we got there, spent the night, got on the boat, went out on the boat for about a week, and then came back and spent the night, and then flew back out.
Yeah. It's about a 7-8 hour drive for me.
To Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to remember, like, your state could probably fit in my state like 30 times.
Probably. Yeah, you guys are big.
I mean, even Ray and I are 4 hours apart.
Yeah.
I was stationed in Texas, so I know it's wild.
Lackland. Army or Air Force, what?
Army. I was at Bliss.
Ooh, I
Over
am
El
so
Paso.
sorry.
Oh yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
sucked. If the country had a butthole, that's where it would be. So
Yep, and the armpit, it's called Bakersfield.
Oh boy. Yeah, it sucked. They every 2 years they would give us an allowance to go get new windows for our vehicles because the sand would get into the mechanism and stuff. So every 2 years they were writing checks for everybody to go get new windows.
Yeah, I would just scratch the hell out of them.
Yep. Oh yeah, you could tell when they were really starting to get in there because you go to roll your window down, you hear you're like, oh, we should be getting a check in the mail here before long.
Oh man.
And how many times did you really change the windows?
I was only there 3 years, so once.
So I'm asking, did you pocket the check?
Oh no, I got windows. That was some expensive tint
Oh,
that was on there, man. Wanted to make sure I still had my tint.
So, Mark, I see we're still a little bit on the running at the last minute to get on.
Yeah. There was a few things that last minute thing. I had to pick up some stuff at the last minute that I didn't. But yeah, I didn't. I got off at 5:15 from my job, and then I had to pick up some stuff for the wife really quick. I'm like running to get it in. So yeah. But
Yeah, why'd you like that? That's why I don't have any.
Yeah.
Just a stack of X's.
It's a peaceful life.
It is now.
Lonely, I imagine.
No, not at all.
Oh man,
Too busy for it to be lonely.
at least you can tell it the way it is. I'm proud of you. That's good.
Yes. Well,
That's
just hopefully Garrett shows up here pretty soon. We'll really get this thing started and celebrate 6 years.
That's wild. It doesn't feel like
I know, right?
Does not feel like it.
What was that?
I did what, about a year and a half?
I think so. Yeah, about a year and a half. You and Ray. I think about a year and a half. And then
I lasted a bit longer than Ray at the end.
Yeah. Did you, or did Ray? I can't remember.
There was a while where it was just I.
Yeah.
Ray started his Leo Effects show.
Yeah.
Leo Effects. So that's where he disappeared to.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Because you guys were there at the very end when I left. Because you guys were there when we left Realm of the Mist.
Mm-hmm.
I believe. All right, he said he'd be on in just a bit. Then we can really get started.
Sweet.
Woo!
I bugged him earlier too. Dude, where's the link?
Yeah. I
go and get a code to log back.
Oh man.
Yeah, I had
been that one since I was on
plans for the show tonight that didn't initially. I was wanting to do like a live stream marathon. Then I remembered I had to work, and then it was like
forgot about that little pesky thing called
a job. Yeah. And then I was like, well, we can do from 6 until midnight. Then I remembered I'm old.
And you have a day job.
Well, no, I'm off tomorrow. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But still, I'm just like, yeah, I can't do that long. I'm like, so then I'm like, yeah, let's just do this and go until we can't go anymore.
Sweet.
Or until we get bored.
Until we get bored. You guys playing Survivor?
What's that?
You playing Survivor?
Survivor.
Yeah, Jedi Survivor?
Oh no, I don't.
I'd be hyping mine like that.
Xbox. I don't have any of those new fangled.
Oh.
We have a Switch, and that's about it.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Dang.
I know.
It's good. It's worth buying a PS5 for.
It looks like it.
It's worth buying a PS5 for.
Nice.
Truly.
Oh.
That's my son's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an old tabletop.
Nothing wrong with that.
Man, I haven't played a tabletop game in a long time.
Me either. It's been a while.
If you give me the link, I will for you send me that, because I don't want to send them the link you sent me. Otherwise, they can log in and join us.
Who's that? Oh, the for the live stream. Yeah, just give me a second.
Yeah, and I'll post that up on my Instagram and all that.
Yeah.
Tell them we're live. Unless you wanted me to get some of my actresses to join us.
Well, this can only hold
They're
so
gorgeous.
many people on it.
I think it said 10 when I logged in, up to 10.
Yeah.
I guess I'll save that for our live show at the end of the month.
Yeah. Let me see.
Everybody's going to come on, and our Battleships AI is going to be the host
Oh.
and interview all the actors and actresses and
Nice.
my special effects director and all that stuff.
All right. One second. And there we are.
Got it.
Got it?
Push it over to Instagram. Let's see, Avery, Bella, T, Jaden, Lexi. Castro.
All right.
Can hear somebody walking around upstairs.
Do I hear your munchkins?
No, they're not here. Oh, wait, who? Mine? No.
No, that sounds like John's. John Marks.
Yeah, they're yeah, my daughter just came home. She was at a play date with a friend, so
She's okay because she's a Sith.
yeah. She dressed as Darth Vader for the con.
Smart girl.
Raising her right.
She's always been my favorite.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Close second, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But
I appreciate that.
yeah, she is the number one Tolly.
Oh, yes. I mean, I understand.
Yep, I knew you would. So what else has been going on in Europe?
Well, I got a new job. I'm no longer at Walmart.
Where are you at?
I work for a local bus company now. It's a door-to-door bus service. We drive like small little buses, and we go pick up people. You can call in and get rides, or we do a lot of seniors, a lot of special needs, a bunch of kids too. But I love it. It's weekends off, every weekend off, every federal holiday off. I work 4/10s, so I'm off Tuesdays and weekends, and I love it. Easy peasy. Just get my route and go.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the best jobs where you don't have somebody breathing down your neck.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the
it's-
absolute best.
Always.
Yeah.
Just give me a list of stuff to do. Leave me alone. I'll get it done.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
And even
that's-
on months where there's not a holiday, they still do training days. And our last training day was they took us bowling.
took you bowling.
Yeah. Paid for bowling and pizza.
Heck yeah.
That's
Like,
pretty
yeah,
good.
It's a good
Yeah.
training day.
It was. All right, stop that. I heard all that yawn.
What? No, it's been a long day.
I understand.
Been a long weekend. Saturday, I rode like 150 miles on the bike.
Oh,
And then yesterday, Kirsty and I put 130 miles on the bike.
nice.
And then today I rode it to work and back.
Wow.
It's
Oh, there's Darth Tuba. Hail, hail, the gang's all here. We're just missing Garrett.
Oh no, where's Garrett?
I don't
Hey, guys.
know.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Okay.
All right. Well, I don't know if you've met Joe before, but Joe, this is Darth Tuba. Will.
Hello, Joe.
Hello. I'm currently posting that we're live over on Instagram with the Imperial
All right.
March.
Ah,
Dun,
nice.
dun, 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 dun. Well, I'll just go ahead and get started. Garrett.
whoa. It's like magic.
Mm.
Well,
We
hello
don't need
everyone.
Garrett.
and-
He only co-wrote my movie.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll just go ahead and get started with the intro. Hello, everyone, and welcome to War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast. And today we are live with our live stream extravaganza spectacular anniversary show. Yay!
Yay!
Woo! Today we are joined by some very special guests. First, writer, producer extraordinaire, Mr. and former co-host, Mr. Joe Cahill is joining us. Joe, how are you today, sir?
I am doing very good. Thank you for having me back. It's been a little while.
It has been. Yeah. Also joining us back again after a couple weeks. You were here a couple weeks ago, I believe. Brian Miller from the Star Wars Canon podcast.
What's going on,
What
guys?
up?
Glad
What
to be
up?
here. Glad to talk some Star Wars. Happy
Woo!
anniversary, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Taught him everything he knows. What's up?
Yeah. Also joining us is the one, the only Darth Tuba. Will, how are you today, my friend?
I am fine, John Mark. I hope you're doing well. Happy anniversary. Good to meet you, Joe and Brian.
What's going on?
Yes. We are waiting for Garrett. He should be on shortly, but I just want to get things going here with our anniversary show. And starting off right, I think it's cool to have this group right here because this really, and what Garrett's on too, represents so many different eras of War of the Stars. We have the beginning, we have kind of the middle area, then we'll have the kind of newer area with Will and then Garrett. So it's kind of, we have people from pretty much all eras of the show. And, each one kind of brought in, each one of you, I think, kind of brought your own, unique spin and unique talents. I know Brian, we always joke that you were literally an Imperial. The librarian, we called you the Jocasta Nu of War of the Stars.
Yes.
And
Channel my
then
inner Jocasta Nu.
Joe, of course, being a producer, you brought a unique perspective. Will, bringing the musical background and as a collector, and even the people that aren't here. I reached out to Ray and Chris and a couple others, and I had never heard back from Ray. Chris wasn't able to make it because of work. But even them,
Really?
Ray never got back with
heard
me.
that.
Never heard back from him. So, It is. It is what it is. I don't begrudge him any. If he was busy or whatever. But everyone who's ever been on the show has really contributed so much to it. So as we get started, I thought we would start off with a question I want to pose to you out there, and I have an answer to it that I think is gonna not offend people, but might be a little controversial. Most overrated ship in Star Wars. I'll start off firing the first salvo across the bow. Millennium Falcon.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I'm gonna just say this.
No,
it is. In canon, I think it gets by on name alone. I think it gets by on name alone. I'm not saying it's a bad ship. Not saying it's an awesome ship. Not saying that if I didn't see it, if I ever get a chance to go to Galaxy's Edge and I see it, that I won't cry. I think a lot of it is nostalgia. A lot of it is on name alone.
I mean, considering that this whole thing is, I agree. Make believe.
It's an overrated freighter.
So are we speaking like as if it were real, or are we speaking from the movie standpoint? Because if it's
I think we have to look at it. I think first we have to look at it as though it's real. And is it a ship
overrated freighter?
Like in canon? Is it a ship that is
freighter,
reputation? That most of what it does is reputation only.
Well, it is the ship that made the Kessel Run. In
12 parts,
14. No, wait, no, 12. Sorry.
12, 14. If you do the rounding.
Not if you round down, right? Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think in universe, it gets a lot of if it's a reputation just by word of mouth. Probably, I would imagine, told mainly by Lando and then Han.
Lando and Han.
So, they're the ones.
They do a lot to really boost the reputation of the ship.
But it has gotten some people out of a jam.
It has. I mean, Brian, what would you say is the most overrated?
Are we talking canon, legends, like
anything?
Anything?
Yeah.
I actually have two that I think are incredibly overrated. The Outrider Dash Rendar ship.
I can see that. Yeah.
That is totally overrated. And then the Razor Crest. Mando ship. I think it's highly overrated.
Yeah. I can see both of those too. I mean, would you say that in
the show?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think the producers of the show agreed with you since they blew it up after.
Yeah, right.
After you want more?
A year and a half.
Yeah. It's a freighter.
They needed to.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's basically Imperial is overrated.
Yeah, I can see how you would say that.
Mark's all, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the Falcon's just a hunky junk.
Fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy.
It's the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy, though.
Again,
said by that either.
Said by the people who
Han Solo,
it, so.
Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
Name a ship that's faster.
A couple of lying card bearing. It's only faster because he can pull that thing handle down and get to light speed. If they were on top of it in the same place, no saying he's going to get away.
That ship went through a lot.
It did. I mean, I do think that if you're talking about,
did it lose?
I mean, could you? I know the term Mary Sue's thrown around, but could you say that the Millennium Falcon is kind of like a Mary Sue ship, a ship that is always written to be save the day all the time, always there at the right time?
No, I'm calling a hard disagree on that.
Okay.
Yes. I'm calling a hard disagree. Think
like
about how much the thing is always broken down. The hyperdrive never works until the last possible second, and it's usually someone like R2 that fixes it.
Yeah.
Okay. You got Chewie is on top of the thing, always trying to make it work.
True.
You know, I don't know.
Actually,
I can't call it the Mary Sue of ships.
there's only 2 movies that ever had problems, and it was
It's a
Empire
Mary
and
Sue.
Force Awakens. Those are the only 2 movies that ship ever had problems. Any other time, it was running beautifully. A New Hope, no problems. Fired right up on the hyperdrive, took right off. Return of the Jedi had no problems with it whatsoever.
Well, it did
Uh,
lose the dish. I mean,
But it
I
did
guess it
lose
was
the dish, you're
more.
right.
It was, I think, in there weren't problems with the ship to start, but there were problems by the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It kept like getting shot at, and
yeah.
Yeah.
Last
like
Jedi,
that.
there were no problems with it. Rise of Skywalker, there were
However,
no problems with it. I mean,
then you got to take into account it sits in the desert.
it wasn't in the
Okay.
desert for
But what
very
about
long.
it? It sits in the desert of Jakku for how long?
Ooh.
For
And
years.
then it
Well,
lights
just
right,
years.
lights right off.
For
Come
a
on.
year.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I got to
Yeah.
give him that. That's a good point.
But it still flew.
It did.
That's a
did.
Mary Sue
It
right
did.
there.
It did more than that quad jumper did.
The quad jumper didn't even get a chance.
That's what I'm saying. It flew.
R.I.P.
flew,
quad
the Mary
jumper.
Sue.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I can only talk from my collector standpoint, but so in my brain, it's like the problems that I had with the toy version will inevitably become the problems that I have with the real version, quote unquote,
Okay.
real version. I'm calling out the TIE Fighter.
Ooh.
It's like the most craziest non-working
Oh.
design of a ship ever.
Impractical.
Impractical. I mean, so much so that you can't even get into the thing unless they retcon that folding wing thing, like Moff Gideon, which in fairness, I thought that was very cool.
yeah.
But as far as like,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
come on,
like
any of you, if you've had the TIE Fighter, I mean, the first thing to go are the wings. They fall right off. And
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they have the design that they're supposed to pop off, but they would fall off anyway. And I just can't imagine that it's structurally sound that it can do that. Not to mention the fact that they designed it to basically be completely
Yeah.
Cannon
destroyed.
fodder. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like pawns in a chess game. But I mean, come
Mm-hmm.
on. If you were a TIE Fighter pilot, were you really proud of that fact?
Oh.
Or were you?
Got some giant 3-foot wide weak spots on each side of you. Just
They're like targets. They look like targets. Think about it.
they do. They really do.
Now I will say this. I know everyone talks about the sound in Star Wars that everyone loves being the depth charge thing. Yeah. To me, a close second even is something about the sound of a TIE Fighter.
Well, that's because it's an animal. It's got a screech of an animal. I'm not one, but there's a screech of an animal.
As I think you have to admit, though, as impractical looking as the TIE Fighter is, the TIE Interceptor is so cool looking. It's one of my favorite Imperial fighters.
Thank
I
you.
love the TIE Interceptor. It just looks so sleek and so.
If we go to Legends, it's the Defender.
Well, no, the Defender's canon.
Defender's canon now.
Defender's canon. It was in Rebels.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. That was the
Yeah.
Thrawn project. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, that's a gorgeous fighter there,
Which means
and it fixes a lot of the
Thrawn's popping
original
up.
TIE because it does have shields.
if
Yes.
Thrawn's popping up somewhere, you're probably going to see some in live action.
TIE. That I was so excited. And this, I mean, we have our own opinion on almost the Book of Boba Fett of the third season of Mando, but seeing the TIE Interceptors this season was so cool. Yeah, that was. And especially when they're in the hangar, hanging upside
Hanging like
down.
bats. Yeah. Hanging like
Yeah.
bats.
That was
Wings
awesome.
rotate down and yeah.
Yes. I mean, we were kind of talking about ships. I mean, for me, one of my favorite fighters is still going to be the X-wing.
Yes.
I think this
Iconic.
is a cool looking ship. Reminiscent of the old World War II fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool.
Can I ask a question? I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
But can I ask a question?
Sure.
In the films, several times you hear it's lock S foils?
Lock S foils in attack
in
position.
attack position. What is an S foil? I mean, I'm assuming that's X-wing, but I mean,
Yeah,
why do they,
it's the I'm not sure. I mean,
Why do
what
they say-
mechanism it is, but
yeah, I don't know what that. I mean, I was just curious if there was an in-universe explanation of what that exactly means.
I'll
I mean,
find out. I'm on
Yeah.
it.
oh yeah, our
Thank you,
resident
Brian.
librarian
Find out.
here.
I was just
The
curious. Like,
archivist is going.
it makes sense that the next scene when you hear it is all the
S
X-wing
foil.
opening
It's
up.
S
And-
foils. Yeah, let's see here.
And it didn't just refer to
Strike
the
force.
X-Wing
Mm-hmm.
It was
Return of the Jedi. Just saw it last week in the theater, and
because it does. They do show the B-wing
the B-wing folding open.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If the
when he
A-wing
gives
doesn't
the
really-
order. Even the B-wings lock theirs up.
Yeah. So
All
it's-
right. S foils. Oh, freaking ads. Thanks, Wikipedia. S foils, also known as strike foils or stability foils,
Huh.
were movable wings attached to ships such as the X-wing starfighter, the ARC 170 starfighter, and the Outlander TIE fighter. That was the one that folded the wings
Okay.
Mm.
to land, sometimes equipped with weaponry.
Oh, okay.
So S foils, yep, strike foils.
Now I'll tell you what I think is an underrated ship that, as far as I'm concerned, that I don't think gets a lot of credit. You saw a little bit near the end of Clone Wars. Was the Z95,
Headhunter.
the
Headhunter.
Headhunter? That was a
Yeah.
cool looking. That was a cool looking ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Now,
it's the precursor to the X-Wing, right?
yeah, well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
between the ARC and then the Z95, and then the X-wing is kind of like the love child of the ARC fighter and the Z95.
Mhm.
Now, is the they haven't made canon the backstory of the X-wing, the original backstory of the X-wing, have they?
Not that I know of.
Where, because you remember the original story in Legends, right? That it was an Imperial design.
I don't remember.
The
that.
original story was that the X-wing, the company that made the X-wing, Incom, they were fighting. There was an Imperial contract to make the next generation starfighter, and they had designed for the X-wing, and the majority of the company, when they found out they were going to be nationalized, defected to the rebellion and took the designs and several of the prototypes of the X-wing to the
What?
rebels.
Find out.
Hmm. There we go.
See, and I had heard that it
I'm
was
on it.
because of the cost. The Empire decided to go with the TIE fighter because they could
Yeah,
have
because it
built
was
mass
more
produced
cost
cheaper.
effective. Yeah, I think it was a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's cheaper and yeah.
Mass produce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let our archivist find out here.
Yeah, the archivist will let us know.
Are you guys waiting on me? Oh,
No.
Wait,
Sorry,
wait.
we can keep going.
X-wings.
Yeah.
Here we go. Page
But I agree that the
115.
X-wing is indeed a fine ship.
It is.
I
It
love
is.
when Doug Chang talks about design, and one of the key Bible points was to always have something that could instantly be recognizable if you could if you could draw it in three or four strokes.
Well, and so many of the things in Star Wars have this. They look futuristic, but they also look familiar. And the X-wing is that let's look at the Imperial Star Destroyer. It
Triangle.
looks futuristic, but it looks there's something about it looks familiar. You're just like, even though it looks nothing like
It's
a
triangle.
traditional battleship or
Triangle.
naval ship.
I mean, it's
it's-
familiar. It looks like a triangle.
Yeah.
It is. I'm not complaining. I love it. It's like,
But
All right,
yeah,
if,
I mean,
if we're going to complain about ships, though,
okay.
you have to go with the bombers in the
Uh,
sequels.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know what they
even
were
the
going
Y
for.
wings as bombers were cooler.
There's nothing in here about X-wings.
okay.
But yeah, I agree, and I understand what they're going for with the bombers in Last Jedi. They're going for the B-17, the B-29, the giant bombers.
Yeah, but they were slower than B-29s,
Yeah,
B-17s.
yeah,
And
I
in
understand.
space, the whole gravity thing really bothered me. Were gravity dropping bombs in space?
We're worried about the bombs dropping in space. The laser bolts were arcing like with gravity. Like what the? We're worried about bombs. Light was arching like cannon fire.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, if we're
that's
nitpicking, I mean, the fact that there is sound
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to open up that Pandora's box.
That is
Yeah.
one thing. One thing I did not to cross streams. That is one thing I appreciated about the Battlestar Galactica, is there was no sound in the space battle scenes. I liked that.
Yeah.
That was a cool little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But then how do you know the TIE fighters sound like that? They sound so cool when they fly by.
no, I feel like you gotta suspend it. You gotta suspend your
you do.
disbelief for all
I
of
we're
it.
talking about
disbelief.
space wizards with laser swords, so
It's okay.
Yeah, you couldn't keep the audience's attention without the sound effects,
Right.
that's true.
The whole thing
Yeah.
would be dead silent.
especially in today's educational background. And,
That's true. That's so
I laughed
what do
because
you mean there's no sound in vacuum?
Huh?
well, that was like when Alfred Hitchcock, I think it was Bernard Herrmann, was scoring one of his movies, and there was a scene. I forget what the movie was, but there was a scene with a guy out on a boat in the water, and Bernard Herrmann is putting out scoring all this music, and Alfred Hitchcock yelling at him is like, "Where the hell are all the musicians that you have them out there?" And he's like, and Bernard, without missing a beat, just shouts back at Alfred Hitchcock, "The same place the cameraman's at." You can't hear. And after that, Alfred Hitchcock's like, "All right, fine." So,
Same place the cameraman's at.
I mean, seriously,
Wow.
folks, let's
That's
be honest.
good.
Wow.
It's true.
That's good.
No, but that was the beginning of I think that was the beginning of maybe we should suspend our disbelief. I mean, no, there are times for it.
Actually, I think that was all the way back when the house flew in the tornado.
Why is it
I
all
think
of a
that's
sudden
when we
popular?
suspended disbelief.
A witch
Yeah.
caught that sucker all by herself.
I know.
I know. I was
One-
impressed
she got-
with that.
She's a real MVP. Yeah.
That's the only reason that
Intercepted
Dorothy lived.
At a girl.
All right.
All right.
What
As
else?
an Imperial, I have to say, I pretty much disliked every First Order ship.
Hmm.
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 I was so happy to see the Imperials come back in the last film. They looked awesome again. Loved them with the extra cannon on the bottom.
I wish. Okay, who could tell me the name of the Sith TIE fighter? Is it just called the Sith TIE fighter? We never got a toy of it, so we only got a Lego one, actually, which I didn't pick up. It's the one that had it was triangular wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was called the
briefly during some of the fly.
Sith Intercept. Was it the Sith Interceptor?
It might be a Sith
I
Interceptor.
think it was, but I want to make sure.
I love
It
that
reminded
ship.
me of Vader in A New Hope.
Kinda.
It's one of those things that I wish they would make into a toy, but they probably won't.
Yeah.
It would
yeah.
make an awesome model or toy to sit on the shelf,
It would.
right next to my interceptors.
There's no telling where it's at in here.
I
Who
know.
knows?
Like, let me see. I'm typing it. I'm like doing a search, like Rise of Skywalker TIE Fighter, just see what comes up.
I'm
But
pretty
anyway.
sure it's the fifth one. I think it was.
I didn't realize. I don't necessarily, Joe. I don't necessarily agree with you wholeheartedly about the First Order ships, but I will agree with you that it was so nice to see the old ones back in Rise
It
of
was.
Skywalker. It was great,
Yeah.
and I loved the whole
Yeah,
Red
I mean-
trooper. And the whole look of the Imperial officer. I just thought that was very well designed. But,
Very yes.
let's see, Rise of Skywalker TIE Fighter. Okay, yeah, we'll see what we got. But anyway, images. Yeah, it's like Wikipedia. Here we go.
There you go. They know everything.
TIE.
Yeah.
Wait, visit. Hold on. This is TIE DG Starfighter.
Hmm.
What?
TIE/DG.
That's weird.
I don't know what that.
Uh,
I mean, look, it's also known. Oh, TIE, also known as the TIE Dagger,
Dagger. That was it.
Okay. Yeah.
or the
That was
Sith,
it.
or the Sith TIE Fighter. But when I typed in Sith TIE Fighter, I was getting other stuff.
You mean there were two different Sith daggers in that movie?
Only this blade tells. All right. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Can't make this stuff up.
Anyway.
You can't.
so-
Somebody did, but
Yeah.
oh boy.
Oh man.
All right. What else you got there, John Mark, you have another question for us?
Well, since we're on our anniversary show, let's just kind of talk a little bit about if you guys have any memories that you remember of episodes that we did, or kind of going down memory lane.
For me, I'm going to go with the watching of the holiday special.
That was an adventure.
That was indeed.
That was an adventure. Yes.
And it was enjoyable to be able to share that with someone, including the weird, creepy parts that I wished I any other time I've watched it, I actually fast forwarded. So there were parts of that version when you and I watched it. That's the first time I ever actually watched it all the way through, and I was like, wow, they really filmed this. They put it to videotape.
Yes. They read the script and said, yes, that makes perfect sense. Let's put this to film.
Did the editor of that movie ever make another movie after that?
The editor?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that, look, I mean, here's the thing, but let me preface it. I have a lot of love, like nostalgic love for the holiday special. I don't begrudge that it's creepy and weird at many, many points and just really hard to get through. Okay. But having said that, it is required viewing in this household while we put up the Star Wars Christmas tree. Granted,
oh my gosh,
with fast forwarding parts, we fast forward through the whole itchy watching pornographic VR. You know, we just it is exactly what it sounds like. If you haven't seen it, it is.
I am your fantasy.
And your kids grew up still liking Star Wars?
Well, one kid, and yes, she did. But you know what it is too, though. You have to understand, in our household, there's a lot of other things. Like we watched Carol Burnett, so there was a lot of Harvey Korman, which was fun to see him cross over into Star Wars, even though it made no sense.
Directed by Steve Binder.
We loved The Honeymooners, so to have Art Carney say "May the Force be with you" was, like, to me, absolutely, gold. And I loved the Golden Girls. So see B. Arthur singing with the Cantina Aliens was actually, those were like very enjoyable parts.
Yeah.
Chewie's family, don't, only because there was no dialogue. It was just grunts.
That's the first part. First time watching it, I'm just like,
so.
But I also grew up with the variety show, with the Bob Hope specials and the Donnie and Marie specials. So it did not feel out of place to me but I will say I didn't watch it when it first came out. It came, I went into a Comic-Con somewhere 10 years later in the late 80s, early 90s. And there's a guy, back then they were selling videotapes of all sorts of bootleg stuff. And there's something with the Star Wars holiday special. I saw pictures of Chewie in the red robe, and I'm like, what is this? So I plucked down my $20 and I took it home and I just watched it. And I cannot believe what I'm watching. This is, but it did have the Boba Fett cartoon, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
The cartoon is on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they did that. That's
yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see the rest of it, but I mean, on Disney Plus.
He didn't direct anything else for the rest of his life that you guys would have ever heard of.
Yeah.
Wow.
I believe he was I don't know for sure, but I believe that the director was a, variety show kind of director.
Probably.
And that by 78, we were kind of starting to get away from that. I mean, they say that. I mean, a lot of people say, well, we're getting away from the variety show. But I was born in 71. So I remember vividly the Bob Hope specials going right into the mid 80s.
Yeah.
Featuring.
Hey, come on. You got to remember the.
Go ahead,
the
Joseph.
Donnie and Marie dance special for Star Wars.
I know. I mean, to me, the holiday special is a lot less cringeworthy than the Donnie and Marie with the dancing stormtroopers.
True.
Dancing to Get Ready, disco style. I mean, with Chris Christopherson playing Han, and oh my God. And Paul Lynde, though. I do love Paul Lynde. And Paul Lynde playing.
Well, though, you have to give them credit. They caught something that none of us knew at the time. Luke and Leia were brother and sister.
Here to that.
Donnie and Marie.
Yes, they did. So yes, John Mark, that was among my.
All right. What about you, Brian? Do you have
There's
any?
always
any
Mark
memories
Hamill's
or-
German advert commercial.
I remember particularly one episode of War of the Stars that you had me and Chris Stolley on, and we basically hijacked your episode for you.
I think that was every episode you were on with.
That
me.
was
I think
you're not wrong. There was one in particular though. I remember I think you even titled it something about we just derailed or something like that.
Yeah, that was kind of our thing. We have a topic and then somehow
It just went
it
off
would
the
be-
rails, and it was quick. It was like the intro, and then we derailed, and then we
pretty
just
much.
like hijacked the episode and went this way.
Yeah,
But it was a lot of fun. I remember that episode being a lot of fun.
it was.
I don't want to interrupt. I
Go
heard
ahead.
from Ray.
Okay.
He had planned on joining us. His daughter was in the outlet mall during the shooting.
Oh, dear.
no. Hmm.
So he is spending extra time with the family.
Quite understandable. Our
Is she
hearts
okay? I mean, she,
go out.
She hasn't been able to go back to school since. And
okay, but she wasn't a victim other than she wasn't.
so, Ray, if you jump on and see us, we love you. Give her hugs
Yeah.
from all the Star Wars family.
Definitely.
All right, man.
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
So, sorry to interrupt. Back to
No,
you,
no,
Brian.
quite all right. Quite all right, man. That is, yeah. Our thoughts, hearts go out to everyone there. Definitely. That's wow,
Yeah, 4 miles from their house.
man.
Yikes.
And that is rough.
So,
Well, how do we? Kind of hard
well,
to.
if you're going to ask
transition-
me about it,
Yes.
yeah, well, I'll transition us back. And it didn't include you, Mark.
Okay.
It was me and Ray when we
Okay.
interviewed Darth Vader.
Oh yes. What's his
That
name?
was a blast.
What is his name?
I've got it around here somewhere.
Oh, Garrett's on. Hey,
I'm
Garrett.
here.
You're here.
Garrett can tell us.
Hey. We were
Garrett,
just talking
Darth-
about our favorite memories from War of the Stars, and Joe was talking about the time him and Ray interviewed Darth Vader, one of the actors who played.
What's
and I
his
cannot
name?
Remember his,
Our Darth Vader back there. That doesn't talk.
C. Andrew Nelson.
Yes, Sandra Nelson. That's right. That was a really fun
That's
episode.
it.
Yeah. That was you guys did a really good job of that.
Yeah, I
And,
mean, it was great.
Yeah. I will say our interview we did
What's
with
up,
Richard
Garrett?
Stride.
How you doing?
Yeah, that was a
Oh,
blast. Richard
That was
was
fun.
a great guy on.
You know, he played
he just-
he did several characters
played all
in Attack of the Clones.
the-
He played
the,
Poggle the
Clone
Lesser.
Troopers.
He did a lot of the
Yeah,
Clone
he was
Troopers.
all the Clone Troopers.
Yeah, he was all the Clone Troopers. And he also was Obi-Wan's body double.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of the scenes he did, a lot of not his stunt double, but his body double. So that was a lot of fun.
Right.
And I know Garrett, you're kind of new here, but do you have any favorite of the short time you've been on that you remember of?
I gotta say, the episode we did a few weeks ago where Brian came on as a guest and we had Thomas, that was, I think, one of my favorite episodes that we've done so far. Just because, you know, I'm a big fan of the military and just the men and women who serve in our armed forces, and it's, you know, to get their perspective on things, especially even if we're dealing with fiction, is always useful because they're the ones who are in the midst of it. And so, you know, from a writing perspective, I can write as much as I want and try to make it sound as plausible and as real as possible. But these are the guys who are actually dealing with it. So that was really neat for me. But I don't know. I'm like you said, I'm new to this, and the fact that I get to talk Star Wars once a week with people and not be looked down on is great, because you know, I grew up in a family that used to tease me for my my love for Star Wars, and then at my Star Wars themed wedding, way back when. I had a cousin who used to, one of the people who teased me the most came up and she's like, "Oh, I love Star Wars. This was such a great wedding." I'm like, "Shut up, liar."
Yeah.
Name me a single Jedi other than Luke Skywalker or Obi-Wan. Name me a Clone Wars or a Jedi. She couldn't do that.
Deep
No.
track. Yeah.
Kit Fisto.
I know. Just
Wow. Well, you've unfortunately, Garrett, you've missed quite a bit. We had our little bit of controversy when I called the Millennium Falcon the most overrated ship in Star Wars.
Yeah, John's over here picking fights.
I know, right?
There was no controversy. You were right.
I mean, sure, it's. I mean, I don't know, man. It's.
But I did have to say
it's not like the Enterprise or anything.
Yeah. Wow.
Fire.
Ooh.
Ooh.
No, it's
I kid.
Mm.
No,
I
don't know.
I did agree with what Brian said though. In hindsight, I think the Outrider is pretty, as far as Legend ship, is pretty overrated.
Oh,
I mean, if you talk about Mary Sue characters, the joke, Dash Rendar could do no wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was scripted out to be like the Han Solo-esque replacement,
Right.
who was a little bit more dark and swarthy than as far as his background is concerned.
I'm glad he died.
I was gonna say,
I'm glad he spaced us. Glad he's dead.
Could do something wrong.
Yeah, same thing I said about Solo.
Yeah.
I've got flashbacks of Jack Nicholson in Batman saying, "I'm glad he's dead." Wow.
I'm glad you did.
Wow.
Man. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, we're just kind of winging it today, so we're just kind of just whatever pops into our head.
Did anybody else go see Return of the Jedi in theaters this week?
Unfortunately, I did not.
They didn't have it playing
You know
anywhere.
what? The place where I thought they would have it was it should have been Fresno, because they have a huge Edwards Cinema in North Fresno. They had nothing. I looked through Cinemark, I looked through Regal to see if they had tickets on sale in this area, and nothing. And I'm like,
yeah, they had it playing at one theater, which is about a town probably about 40 minutes away. 45 minutes away from me, maybe an hour. And it was playing one time at like 2:00 in the afternoon.
that was it.
And it was like, yeah, I think they had like maybe one. I think they had like one showing. It was like at a weird time. It was just like,
it was playing in quite a few. Well, I don't know about quite a. We had like one centrally located theater that played it for a week, but it played it like 4 or 5 times a day. And we went in. It wasn't a packed house, but we went on a Monday night, and it was still like maybe a third full.
yeah.
So, it made like $5 million. Made $5 million.
I wasn't driving to Dallas Fort Worth.
No.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, it was fun. That's one of my favorites of the.
Oh yeah, I love.
And to watch that in the theater again was just nice,
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I would have really enjoyed it. I mean, I got to see when they did the re-release with the special editions back in the late 90s, and that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to see it, to go back and to watch it on its 40th anniversary, and I would hope it would be the original cut, because that's what I grew up on. I mean, the special editions are great, but I grew up on the original cut. That's what I still have on VHS, though I do have the DVD as well. And I don't know. I
don't think that they actually. Well, I guess now if they ever kind of clean it up or remaster the original cuts, I know they did that thing back in like the 2000s or whatever, where they made like a box set, but it was based off the Laserdisc version, and it wasn't all that clean, and people complained. But if they were to remaster it again, then they would be able to launch it in theaters, because there's no film anymore. It's just
we've got the despecialized versions.
But
the
that's not
additions
owned
that
by.
they could do.
But that's not owned
Yeah.
by Lucasfilm. Though. I mean,
Well,
they
that's
don't.
true too.
Yeah, that it's
That is
for
very
have it
true.
to be an official release.
Yeah.
It would have to come from them. So I wouldn't get.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hold
Yeah.
my breath. But
It'd almost be
was-
worth renting a theater out
Yeah.
and just dropping the Blu-ray in and just.
What was fun is a few years ago, Free Comic Book Day landed on May the 4th here, and so locally, the comic shop that I was at on Saturday for Free Comic Book Day is owned by a guy who's part of the local branch of the 501st, and he and the worked out with one of our local theaters downtown. We've got this old vaudeville style theater called the Fox. Still functions. They do movies, they do concerts, whatever. And so that evening we did a special screening, and the only places where you could get tickets were either the comic shop or at the theater itself. And they had a limited number of seats because they're just doing the 7 o'clock showing of the original Star Wars film. And it was awesome. It was a packed house.
Oh, I'll bet.
And they had Star Wars trivia going on. They had people in cosplay from the 501st, and Jason, the guy who runs the shop, he's got some cool stuff. I mean, aside from his Clone Commander Vil armor, he also has a Scout Trooper armor, and he has a vintage Boba Fett armor from Empire: Return of the Jedi, and which is surprising because on Saturday normally he dresses up as Boba, and didn't. He didn't go into costume at all on Saturday. I was really surprised, but to be fair, the store was like packed with people from pretty much the time it opened at 10 a.m. until just about 3:30 in the afternoon. Like tons of people coming through. We had a steady crowd, and it was a lot of fun. If you guys go onto my Instagram, I posted a couple of photo dumps today from the pictures I took, and we had Vader obviously was there. We had a husband and wife team who were Jedi. We had a couple of clone commandos from the Commandos book series and games. We had a couple of scout troopers. We had a little Ewok. There was wasn't a Jawa. I think it was a Tusken Raider, but it wasn't wearing the traditional like brown garb. It was some other special robes. At one point, I saw a kid dressed as very convincing Kylo Ren, sans the helmet. So
Nice.
we had a lot of fun. It was a good time.
Celebration though, Garrett.
What?
Garrett, the celebration though. Modesto, where they shut the downtown for it.
Yeah.
They bring
I saw
in
pictures of
full size TIE fighter, and you can get pictures in.
Wow.
Being the hometown of George, they go a little crazy. Downtown Center Plaza, it's nothing but Star Wars. May the 4th.
Oh, dreams.
And Garrett goes
Yeah.
quiet. Hey, Garrett, I'm digging the new look, man.
It's been a long day for me. Like I went
Trying to copy me, huh? That's
I
the
just
look I
turned
want
into
for
the
Matt
skid,
right
Joe.
there.
I just turned into the skid. In fact, about a month and a half ago, I got one of those skull shavers. I'm just like, it works.
And then I'm going the opposite.
Man.
I'm
It looks like you're going for the Anakin haircut.
yeah. I'm hoping
Yes,
next. I'm hoping if we go to the con next year, I can have the.
Well, Anakin knew what a brush was, though.
Hey, I just got
Yeah.
off work. Okay,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yes, but in all that time, he still couldn't grow the glorious beard of Kenobi.
Hey, we were already a couple
No,
minutes
no,
late. You
Obi-Wan,
could
I
have
have
run
to
it
do my
through your
100
hair.
strokes.
It's 100 strokes with a lightsaber, Anakin, not with a brush.
And stop thinking of Padme while you're stroking.
Ooh.
Okay. Family show, guys. Family show. Okay. Yep.
Man.
You went there.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. How many people we got on, Mark?
Right now,
Man.
Yeah, not many.
Uh.
Well, anyway.
Well, whoever's
Oh.
on, hit the chat so we know you're there.
Yeah,
Comment.
there's
Yeah.
we've had a couple people
Ask questions. We're winging it. Ask
definitely,
us
yeah.
questions and stuff. See
So
if
far
you can
we've had
stump the
rural-
archivist.
Make some
definitely.
Yes, I find your
controversial
lack of
comment.
age disturbing.
We had rural farm boy on earlier. He's always a good one to promote the show and watch all the shows on the Red 5 network. But other than that, that's been about it. I shared it everywhere, but sometimes it, maybe we'll get more once it actually goes up on the channel.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm actually pulling up some Star Wars trivia questions. Let's see if I can stump you guys.
Oh,
While he's
Bring it
doing that,
on.
I want to share one thing with everybody. I stumbled across a group. I'm trying to find the actual name of the group that I started following. I've been finding some like behind the scenes things, like that kind of stuff. And one of them that I found, it was like the Star Wars Behind the Scenes Society has great photos. It's on Facebook. Great behind the scenes. I mean, we've all seen, if you've poured through any kind of Star Wars making of videos or books, you've seen certain photos that have become like almost iconic as the movie themselves. But then I came across another one. I'm trying to find it. Hang on. It was essentially a Star Wars site devoted to finding the everyday objects that they use to make props and set pieces.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
and
nice.
costumes. I'm trying to get the name of it because it just, I mean, again, there are times where you're not going to find, anything that you want, but
well, everyone knows. I think everyone knows the most famous one, the women's Bic razor as a communication.
In episode
well,
1.
I'm
Yeah.
going to say that is a famous one, but the most famous one has to be the Graflex camera
The
flash,
flash
holder.
gun.
Oh yeah.
Those things were like freaking, a box full of them and no one would care, and then Star Wars came out, and then slowly as the word got out about
Yeah.
how
what
they made
were.
them, and this is, nowadays, between 3D printing and
Mhm.
everybody's selling them now, it's different, but my goodness, it was, now good luck finding one. You find
Mhm.
one and somebody wants $1,000 for it. Or here it is. It's called Star Wars Found Parts of the Original Trilogy. And then,
That sounds cool.
yeah, like, I mean, just stupid little things, but like, for an example, one of the latest posts, they're looking for, looks like they were trying to find the pieces that were used to put together the Sand Trooper backpack, right? And one of them was basically a lid from a 70s Tupperware container. So they're showing, so you can see, and it's just funny, there's somebody with found the Graflex. Wow. Somebody on May 1st found the Graflex handle at a local antique store.
That's awesome.
And
I'm curious
Nice.
how much they paid for it, but they're not saying it. Oh, they looked like the price tag was $425.
whew,
But when you consider, that and a few windshield wiper blades, and you have basically
and a calculator bubble strip,
Yeah,
and that's
right,
about
and
it. Yeah.
so I recommend it. It's a fascinating, to see what people post. Oh, somebody who just found the little Tupperware container that Baru uses to pour, or not pour the milk, but I think it was something like in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm gonna have to
Okay,
because
I've got some trivia
go
questions
ahead.
here.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Who was Luke Skywalker's gunner during the Battle of Hoth?
Dak.
Dak.
First and last name.
Oh, I know that.
Dak.
Dang it.
Dak.
Know that.
Raltar. Oh,
And Darth Tuba gets it.
Was it? Is that what it? Okay, I
I only
didn't
know
know
it
that.
from the figure.
Yeah. It's
That's a
Dak
that's a-
Router.
router. Yeah.
Router.
I only know it because I'm not a completist collector by any means, but I do remember them releasing an X-wing, and Hasbro released an X-wing fighter with Dak Raltar, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, I got to get it!" They released 17 X-wing fighters. I don't need, or not, sorry, Snowspeeder. I don't need a Snowspeeder, another of the exact same Snowspeeder with Dak Raltar, but of course I did get it. But
Of course.
Of course.
actually, they didn't release that many Snowspeeders. It's the X-wings they released a lot of. Snowspeeders they only released like 3 or 4.
All right. Another question. In what system are Han and Leia before traveling to Bespin?
A
The
no
NX
white system.
Yeah.
The what?
A no what? A no
Yeah.
white.
Yeah.
A no white
Yep.
or a no white.
Okay,
And a
like, are my answers popping up on your screens or something? That's
No.
really
No.
quick that you got that.
Oh, we have hi
Oh.
Avariana.
Avariana.
Saying hi in the chat.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, that's one of our actresses, Garrett.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Hello there.
Hello there.
As 5
And she just
men
sent
also
me a photo of
there.
her on YouTube. Thank you, Avriana. I see that now because I saw your hi. You have any questions for us on Star Wars? Probably
We're
not
here.
at your age.
Give us
All right.
At this rate, with our ratings tonight, we may send you another link and have you join us. Because your
Well, unfortunately,
873,000 followers
my-
will see that and jump in.
My computer is running low on battery power, so I'm going to have to, before too long, have to call it a night on my end because I got some other.
You don't have a connector that connects the computer to.
I do, but it's in the other room, and I have to go get it.
We'll wait.
I think 4 of us can hold the fort. I mean, you guys wait.
Yeah. All right, give me a second.
hopefully it doesn't
Go
die.
for
by-
it. All of a sudden, we hear this crash off camera.
Yeah. What sound?
We see this little
If
this little
excuses were
7-year-old
what?
Vader stabbing him with a lightsaber. Well, yeah, John is destroyed by. his own
Well,
mother.
I did tell him earlier that is my favorite Tali because she's Sith.
Mm. He did say that a while ago.
Yeah.
That did happen.
She's always dressed
All
as
right,
Darth
here's-
Vader.
here's-
Love her.
Here's another question for you. Name one character who shows up in all 9 films of the Skywalker saga.
C-3PO
An R2.
and R2D2.
Yep.
The Force.
Trick
See,
question. I
I'm
wasn't
good.
gonna
I'm
bother
really
with
good with movie trivia. Don't ask me Legends. Don't ask me Expanded Universe. I've read some, but not enough.
Okay,
To,
excuse me as I get out my expanded universe.
Oh, here we go.
Graphic
right.
novels, here we go.
I don't have a timelines book for that.
All right.
Hmm.
All right. Let's see how
Let's
well
go,
you guys
buddy.
do with this.
Oh boy.
What is the name of the first Jedi that Starkiller is sent to hunt down in Star Wars: The Force Unleashed?
It wasn't General Kodo, was it?
Are you looking this stuff up?
No, I'm looking at you. No.
Yes, it was General Rom Koda,
Yeah.
which I liked it. I loved his character because he had the definite samurai look to his armor, to
Yeah.
the top knot on his head,
Yeah.
and he held his lightsaber
blinded
in a
too,
unique
yeah.
way. He had a sheath on the back of his armor. I thought
Yeah.
that was the coolest thing. All right.
All right, Garrett. Without looking in your trivia book there. No, Garrett. I got one for you. What race in Legends was Emperor Palpatine preparing the Empire for?
I know.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah.
Yuzhan Vong.
The Vong.
You looked it
Oh.
up. Your eyes were down
Yeah.
too long.
That's why he was building the Death Star.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Trust
I
me,
got one. I got one. I got one. What was the name of the race that was attacking the planet Baku, or the Truce of Baku?
Truce of Bakura?
Bakura. Bakura. What was the name of the
Bakura,
alien
you
race?
mean?
Yeah.
I've slept since I read that book.
See, that's probably one of the books I
Man, it's
haven't
over
read.
there on my shelf.
Truce of Bakura was good,
It was.
but I can't remember the name of the species.
I've got nothing.
The Saruki.
Oh,
Saruki.
we just talked
Saruki.
about that last week, didn't
Last
we?
week, yes.
Oh, John, well played, sir. Oh, well played.
You're
Stumped
welcome.
me on something we talked about a week ago. Okay.
Hey, Goblin.
All right. All right. Here's one for you. What race is known for their vibrant skin color and their ability to affect hormones and pheromones?
The Feline.
Prince Shizor.
French sheet. I did know that.
There's another one. There's another one.
Oh,
Feline.
another one.
There's two.
What's the other one?
Oh,
I knew about the Feline.
Zeltrans.
hmm.
That's new.
They come from a planet called Zeltra that is essentially like a paradise resort planet.
Oh, that makes
And
total
they-
sense. The pheromone thing, then.
Yeah, and so they all have like vibrant, like when I say vibrant colored skin, like we're talking like fuchsia and purple and naturally vibrant colors. Whereas like the Feline, they typically have the reptilian green when they're calm, but it only changes depending on their moods
On their
and
mood.
what they're
right.
trying to accomplish.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Who was the fastest gunman in all of Star Wars?
Fastest.
Fastest.
Fastest
Han Solo,
gunman?
duh.
That's a hard one. I don't
I
know.
want to say Cad Bane, but that's just because I have a special place in my
I'm
heart. for
going
Cad.
way back
Right,
in
right.
Legends.
Oh,
Way back? Oh, boy.
No.
Going
so
way,
the phrase
way
"on shot
back in
first"
Legends.
doesn't work here.
Jackson.
Oh, no, don't say Jackson on the rabbit. Oh, it's got heartburn here and there.
Galandro in the Han Solo book prequels.
Oh,
I don't think I
yeah.
ever read that.
I've heard the name. I'm not familiar with it.
It's just that's the problem with the books sometimes is that there's just so many names it's hard to remember.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Here's one for you. If you've ever played the Star Wars RPG from like back in the 90s, what was the name of the smuggler template that they use as kind of an example for storytelling?
Man, you're like deep tracking this.
Ooh. That's
Wait, ask the question one more time.
What was the
Can I go get my
name of
90s version Star Wars journals?
first and last name of the smuggler template that they use for like the storytelling example for being the GM in the Star Wars RPG from the 90s?
That one. I don't know.
Don't know.
that one. Yeah.
Blaine Handsome.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know.
Yeah. He pops in from he's like one of the examples that they use, and you can actually run him as a GM character as a freebie
I'll be dang.
without having to create anything. They've got like a whole template of all of his stats and everything. And he's kind of a poor man's Han Solo with like none of the charm and about as anxious as Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Speaking of which, who remembers the Jedi from the Clone Wars miniseries?
Shaggy one?
Yes.
Shaggy.
Yes.
Points.
What?
You didn't know about that?
Wait, say it again. I couldn't.
So when Cartoon Network did their like 2D Clone Wars series back in the early 2000s,
yes.
Right.
there was a Jedi in there that was drawn like Shaggy from Scooby Doo. Even sounded like him. Like it was had a green
And the
lightsaber,
color-
green tunic.
The color of his tunic,
My
yeah.
goodness.
It
was
the
wearing
exact
green and
same
brown.
thing.
He even had a little bit of stubble on his chin.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
I was
oh.
like gonna pull out a Scooby snack and throw it at Grievous. Like
Like you, Garrett.
Okay, so here's one. In The Rise of Skywalker, John Williams plays a cameo. What's his name in it?
oh dang it. I know
Oh.
where he's at in the movie.
Not only it's not mentioned.
I don't know his name.
He's in the cantina. He's the
Yeah,
bartender.
he's got like a
Cantina,
thing over his eye.
He's got the little
Yeah.
eyepiece.
Mhm.
It's
Because behind him, he's got a
Oh.
bunch of mementos from the
yeah.
different,
I thought that was the
different-
coolest.
that was cool. Like Indiana Jones whip, or was it the whip that was? No, it was the Golden Idol.
yeah. Well,
was
they had like
there, and, like,
every
Jaws
from like
and-
all of the things he was nominated for
Yeah,
an Oscar. They
there
had
was something
they had
representing
little
it behind
barrels
him.
from Jaws. They had little tiny barrels. They had everything.
Yeah,
His name was Oma Tress, which is nice. It's just an anagram for maestro, or not, whatever they call it.
oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought
that
was
is
very
cool.
cool.
Okay, I got one. This is Star Wars related, but Carrie Fisher and George Lucas had a cameo together in what
Hook.
Disney
Look,
movie?
yeah, they were
Hook.
kissing on the bridge. Yeah, yeah,
That's it.
they start floating.
George
Yep.
Lucas also had a cameo in Beverly Hills Cop 3
Yes,
Uh,
remember
I
that
didn't
one
know
too.
that.
as the disgruntled amusement park goer.
Oh I forgot about that. Holy crap!
Best part of that
I
movie.
forgot all about that.
That was the best part of that movie. Was the brilliant acting
God.
of George Lucas. Hey, come on, let's go.
Although one of my favorite cameos, Star Wars reference, featuring Carrie Fisher, hands down, has got to be the nun that she plays in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yes.
I'm ashamed to say I have not seen.
No,
Jay and
see,
Silent
I
Bob.
liked her. I liked her in Fanboys.
Yes, I agree.
When she was
nurse-
the doctor.
She was funny in
doctor.
Fanboys.
Star Wars. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Loved her
I love
in Fanboys.
when he kisses her and he's like, "I love you." And she's like, "I know." He just takes off. Loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not really trivia. I guess you could call this trivia, but still, I think it's funny. What was the directing tips that George Lucas constantly gave during Star Wars?
Faster,
more intense.
Yep. Faster, more intense.
Yeah, but you have
Yep.
to say it with the neck waddle.
Yes.
Like you can't see my neck waddle.
No. I can do that.
That, Brian, it's because it's blocked by a glorious beard.
Oh,
Like
My-
poetry, it rhymes.
my grandmaster beard.
Yes.
Will, that is actually a pretty spot on impersonation of Lucas.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Poetry. I can't say much. I can just say, I remember my favorite was when he talks about C-3PO. I think it came out like it was one of the making of little documentaries in the front of the episode 2 or 3, DVD or whatever. And he was talking about 3PO, and I guess like they were trying to get more out of him, and he's just like, he starts off as a droid, he ends up as a droid. What can I tell you? He has a droid life.
I need more expression, 3PO.
Poor Anthony Daniels.
I know
Oh.
Anthony Daniels will write a whole book about his experience with 3PO, and that's George Lucas's take on it. Starts out a
That
droid.
poor man had to be confined to the most restrictive and claustrophobic costume of all time.
Have you ever read his book? Actually, it's really good.
I've heard bits and pieces of it. I haven't
Inside
read it in full. I
C-3PO.
need to get it from it.
Either read it or get the book on recording. I read it. It's actually I enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really interesting. I mean, he does have a unique wit about him. So it is pretty fascinating.
I love his comments about episode 1's 3PO.
Oh.
And the way 3PO walked when little Anakin was building him. If you ever get a chance, check out Anthony Daniels on that.
Just winning the hip for a second and like,
He's like, who made him drunk?
Yeah, the only I mean, aside from the movies and everything and whatever interviews Anthony Daniels has given, one of my first times of hearing him just talking normally when he's not doing the 3PO voice was he did the audiobook narration for Dark Force Rising, the second book in the Timothy Zahn series. And so it was cool when he would get to a line of dialogue that was for 3PO, but the rest of it was his normal cadence. It was really nice to hear that because his delivery is really superb.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he's British.
That explains a lot.
It does.
Yeah.
Everything explains everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any more trivia questions you got?
Before I started asking them, I got cut off.
Oh, go ahead.
Has anybody seen the second season of Visions 2? Or like
I have
Yes.
not. I
Oh
have
my
not seen it
gosh,
yet.
I loved it.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
I still have to watch the last one, but oh my god, the top three. Well, first of all, Aardman,
Yeah.
which is the claymation that does Wallace
Yes.
and Gromit, Chicken Run. They did
That
one.
I love that episode.
That
Yeah.
was my
Don't
favorite.
spoil anything for me.
That's
I
all
still
I'm gonna
have to
say.
watch it.
It's
Yeah.
claymation. But there's other ones. There's I can't think of the name of it, but there's one that's got a very it's almost a fusion of Indian influence and great
Star Wars.
stories. But it's
Yeah,
like,
the animation on that one was vibrant and beautiful.
yeah, and the look of it was very much a blending of Star Wars, like in-world look, and Indian in-world look, and it was
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I love that. I hope they keep going with that because that is such
do
a
too.
great. And this was not unlike. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have nothing against Japanese animation, but it was cool that they made this season more worldly. There's like
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
did incorporate other cultures. In
Right.
fact, the first episode of season 2 with the paint and all those oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Visually
really
stunning.
visually.
I thought it was fantastic.
It's also like nice because it's not a huge commitment. Like
Mhm.
you can watch one episode is like 15-20 minutes. So
I burned through all 9 episodes last Thursday. I could not stop myself. Like I'm like, okay, I'll just watch the first one, and then I found myself watching the second, and then the third one, and I just. by the
I
end of the day-
love that they're doing this, and I even love that they're like my daughter binged all of the new kids show.
I gotta say I enjoyed. I watched the shorts.
She
And then I
watched all the shorts too, and like one afternoon just watched all of them.
I mean,
and
it's
loved them.
definitely it's they have like full
Oh, they
length
do.
episodes now.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
I
have
could
like
tell.
they're like 26-minute long, and there's like 7 of them, I think.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
check them out.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a-
it's definitely not for us. It's not an,
Oh
it's not an
no,
adult,
and that's
you know.
fine. I mean, I
But
think it's great the fact that there's stuff for different generations to watch. That hey, that like
I do
you
have to
said, it may
say-
not be for us, but if
They have
my
a new- They have a
9-year-old
new
daughter,
actor, a new actor's voicing Yoda, which
Hmm.
is kind of getting me in the feels. I mean, for those who don't know, Tom Kane, who did it, suffered a stroke and
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
retire. He had to retire. I mean, I think he's doing okay, but he couldn't do voiceover anymore. And
Yeah.
you don't realize how much he's done voices for.
oh yeah, he's done so many.
Frank
and
Oz
a
has
lot-
actually come back and done the Yoda voice from time to time when need be.
Yeah.
But this, obviously he's not going to do it
Yeah.
all the time. So
no.
Yeah.
they had to-
Yeah,
someone else is taking
What's-
custodian of it.
What's that new kids Star Wars animation series, which it's very reminiscent of like the Spidey and Friends or like the some of the other CG animated stuff on Disney. Like every time I've been trying to watch the Bad Batch or anything else that's Star Wars related, my son comes up to me. He's like, "Turn it off," because he wants to watch something else, usually something involving sharks and dinosaurs and whatever.
Right.
I turn this on when I'm getting him up and ready for school, and he's actually taken to it. So there's something Star Wars that he will watch, and I'm like, okay, good. This is parenting done right.
yes.
And he likes
There
the
you go.
slapstick humor.
I wish I had all
So-
the options that I had. I mean, I took Karina, my daughter, to see episode 1, which is fine, but for a 3-year-old, first live action movie, sort of live action movie. There's a lot of CGI in it, but yeah, she had to go sit through Darth Maul, and there's some scary stuff there, but she did it. She
my first live action movie that wasn't for little kids was Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
So I had to deal with the Emperor as a little kid, seeing him all scarred, the scarred face of Emperor Palpatine.
I just thought that's how he naturally
terrified
looked.
of him. I remember being terrified of the Emperor first time I saw him.
I think mine was
My
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Okay. I don't remember my first. I think my first live action. Anybody ever see the movie Murder by Death?
Yes.
It's
been a long time since I've seen it.
It's a spoof on all the mystery, stuff, and it took place. Well, actually, the Star Wars connection. I believe Alec Guinness played a role in it, and it was in the early '70s. And if you ever seen Alec Guinness in his later years, he did a lot of comedic roles. He did a lot of fun, silly.
It was Peter Falk, Alec Guinness, and Peter Sellers. It was written by Neil Simon and actually came out in '76.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was the first movie in the theater that I remember anyway seeing. It was called Murder by Death. You would think it wasn't excessively violent or anything. I mean, it was obviously murderers.
No.
It was supposed to be they were bringing together all of the famous detectives into one place to try to solve a murder. But they were spoofs of those detectives, so it was, but I remember that was my first one. But before that, I would just go to see the Disney animated films and stuff. But
Yeah.
Then Star Wars.
My first memory of seeing any movie is Return of the Jedi in theaters, 1983, and I was maybe 1 at the time. I was a little over 1 because it came out in the summer. I was by that point I was 8 years old. And I don't know why that's both my first conscious memory as my earliest memory. So the fact that it's a Star Wars related one is very, very special to me. So it's going to suck when I start losing.
Kids, let's talk more. Let's talk now. Let's quit talking about the past, children. Since
Just
that
out of
would have been my high
curiosity,
school graduation.
Kill it if you have to.
All right, to Joe and to Brian,
Okay.
how old were you when the original trilogy came out? If you don't mind me asking, because I've divulged.
Negative 11.
As old as I was,
Youngest.
Okay, so Brian was negative 11.
I'm
okay.
the youngest one here. Yeah.
Joe,
it was only called Star Wars.
right?
The commercial actually said the Star Wars on it
Yes, I
on
remember that too.
television. And I was in 7th grade.
Wow. Okay, so you are
7th
slightly-
in 77.
You're about 5 years older than me. So I was
Well, I thought you said you were born 71.
yes. Or so that would make you
65, buddy.
oh, okay. So wow, 14 years older
Yeah.
than me. Sorry.
Yeah. You were
Okay.
much younger in 77 than you think.
It was not
6.
it was nice not being in that. It's nice not being the oldest person in the space here. Just saying.
Yeah.
I hold that
That-
record a lot.
Because I have been for a very long time with these guys and with other places I go with my family.
Yeah,
so.
I was for a very long time with one of these guys, and another
I-
one. Yeah,
Age is just a number. Age is just
I
a number.
was born the year Star Wars came out. I was born in
77.
October. I was born in October of '77.
Oh yeah, I saw the original movie 132 times that summer
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
when it first came out.
Now, I don't remember how many times I saw the movie in the theater. That I don't have.
Yeah, it was Modesto. Lucas did one of the premieres there, premiere
Okay.
releases. So my mom and dad went in black tie. Would not take me. I never forgave them. It was hard, but then we were the ones that stood in line clear around the block 2 days later when it released nationally.
Nice.
It was the entire first minutes, so the entire battle at the beginning of the film, because I was standing in line to get popcorn for my older brother, who said, "Get the popcorn, I'm going to go sit down." So I came in, and the droids were already marching across the desert.
Ah,
wow.
oh man.
Yeah, I went and saw it, a couple of days later. I'm like, what? Where did all this come from? Thinking I had seen it from the beginning already.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yep. So I was a little pissed at my brother then.
Oh, sure.
My God.
Sure.
I mean, oh.
But yeah,
If you're gonna miss the
I don't
first
even
5
know how many
minutes.
times I saw Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. You know what's funny is, I Star Wars has become such an integral part of just growing up. I cannot tell you the first time I watched it. It's just always has been there for me. Like I remember
Same.
watching. Obviously, I remember watching the first time watching Jedi, but as far as like the original Star Wars, New Hope, Empire, I don't remember the first time watching those movies just because they've just always been there. You know, they're just kind of always been part of my cultural growing up. Yeah, I remember watching them on TBS all the time. I remember they were always on TBS.
TBS or TNT?
TBS or TNT, they'd always play
Yeah.
them.
TBS. There was no TNT at the time period he's talking.
Yeah. TNT came much later.
Yeah, America's station.
Yes, the Superstation. Remember there was
I
two of them.
remember-
There was TBS and WGN.
Yeah. Well, and I remember that when we started seeing them popping up on TBS when we finally got cable, my mom went on Oriental Trading and ordered these lightsaber-esque toys, and for me and my brother, and we just had a blast just braining each other with them.
Of course.
It was awesome.
Yeah, the lightsaber-esque toys we got at first were the little
We're sticks.
collapsing extender things you put on the end of a flashlight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember the inflatable ones?
I don't know if anybody remembers. Yeah, they
That was yeah, you don't.
No, they
because
were
it was
like the plastic cups going into each other, and you could fling it.
yeah,
You could
it
fling
was,
it out
oh.
from the flashlight, and it would extend.
Oh, okay.
It was really flimsy, and it would last for one lightsaber battle.
One lightsaber battle.
That's
And the
right.
ends were open, so you could still use it as a flashlight.
This is going back a ways.
Wow.
Man.
What else could we tell them about those? good
Well,
old
I
days?
mean, I had the Darth Vader carrier,
I've got that. I've got one of those.
had all the original figures.
I don't have that.
I
Yeah,
I
I
have
don't
pretty much
anymore.
a complete
I
loose
went-
collection.
In the
Hang on a
military,
second.
and
I'll be right back.
Don't
They,
fall in, Brian.
Yeah. You know, that's the one thing I won't part with. I mean, I've been starting to actually thin out my collection, mainly because of, long term, not short term, but long term plans to eventually move. And I love collecting, but when my father-in-law passed away, I had to clean out his house, and he was a collector too. But unlike me, who just collects Star Wars, he collected everything for 92 years, everything.
Wow.
That's
He-
a lot of stuff.
That is, and
I
I
do still have my button.
your Darth Vader lives button.
I hate you, Brian. Yeah, I still have the button they handed out at the theater entrance the first time I went. May the force be with
Wow.
Nice.
Oh.
All
you. And
the
I have
stickers
the
are gone.
original movie
Oh
program
my god.
from '77.
Okay, these guys. I don't know if I'm gonna lose signal, but I guess if we're showing stuff, I got to take you guys on a tour. So
I don't have anything as cool as you guys got.
and then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna have to bolt because
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take
The
off.
The
here
coolest
pretty
thing
quick,
I've
too.
got is this Lord Helmet Buddha.
Nice.
that I got for Father's Day last year.
I do have the
some of
button
my-
for that too from the first time I saw it. May the Schwartz be with you.
Yes. A lot of my lightsabers have the batteries have gone dead. So, but let me get my lights on here.
I do have a #1 issue of Darth Vader signed by the the artist that did the front cover of only 3,000
cool.
issues with
Nice.
my Comic Con's
love those
logo
curtains.
on the cover.
Dude.
Nice.
The vintage.
Uh-oh.
Wait, now I'm going to show you this. This room's a bit of a mess because I'm actually selling off a lot of
Holy
it.
cow.
But
Holy
Well,
cow.
it's
This is,
nice to meet you,
you
Mr.
know.
Lucas.
42. This is 45 years of collecting now, almost.
Wow.
So,
Oh
a
my
lot of those
gosh.
figures. And I sell off stuff.
Where do you
you
live?
know,
Yeah, I
For
was
no
gonna say, where do you
particular
live?
reason.
Flemington,
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Completely unrelated.
Yeah,
Like-
Brian and I'll swing.
New Jersey.
Brian and I'll swing by on a road trip with the checkbooks.
I'll tell you right now. I'll do.
That's pretty cool.
That is.
If you at some point you feel generous, just donate to the Garrett is Poor Foundation.
The sale.
I'll just take those and auction them off for you. Give you
At the end of
50-50
June.
Like,
split.
like when you go through
can
the
always
checkout,
donate them to the Steam.
it's like when you go through the
Steamhouse
checkout, and you're like,
Entertainment
"You want to donate a
Museum
couple
of
dollars
Science
to the
and
hungry?"
Film
Like,
is
I'm the
mine.
hungry.
I'm gonna just.
Exactly.
I'm the poor. You're taking donations. I'm here to collect.
Oh. Well, I know you said, Brian, you
got
said
the
you had to
coolest
take
room,
off.
Brian.
Yeah, here pretty. Do what?
Oh, Mark is tired. He's going to kick us off.
Oh,
He's
no.
already called
Well,
us,
Brian
even
said
though
Brian said he had to get off here, and so did Will here in a bit. So I want to give them time to plug anything they have to plug, and just say, well, first of all, with Brian, I just got to say thank you for being such a part of War of the Stars from the beginning.
Yeah, no. worries.
You were one of the really from almost from the very beginning. You and Chris, and as we're wrapped. First of all, I just got to say a quick thank you to Chris, if you're watching again. For those of you just a little bit behind the scenes, without him, War of the Stars wouldn't exist. He's the one who gave me the start, who gave me, a chance. When I said, "Hey, I'd like to do a Star Wars podcast," and he said, "Come on my show," and that led to this. So thank you to Mario Hernandez, again, one of the original co-hosts. Everybody who was on those original shows, thank you so much for being on and for doing this. Will, thank you for the year. You're in for about a year, weren't you? Year and a half? You're muted.
you're muted.
I still.
Uh-oh.
Airplane.
I think it muted you when you were walking around.
Yeah, your mic's not connected, is what it's saying.
You played a gun finger at me again, Garrett.
Poop. I'm trying to communicate.
Anyway.
I watched enough Mandalorian to know that sand people talk with
How's that? Any better?
sign language.
There we go. There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo!
It's good.
I was
Walking around and I saw something come up about it being muted, but then I was like, oh, how do I unmute? But I found the button that says unmute. So there you go.
Yeah.
But you are more than welcome, John. It's been a year and a half that I was involved.
All
About
right.
18 months. So
18 months. Joe, thank you and Ray. I mean, that was, everybody. Like I said at the beginning, every co-host that has been on the show has brought unique perspectives, and each one has been so entertaining and so fun working with you guys and co-hosting with you guys. And every one of you is welcome back on the show anytime. Same with Ray. And we're going to be doing live streams more often. We're going to be doing one in about maybe a couple months. Chris will be on that one. He already said he's going to be doing our trivia. He's going to be our trivia master for that one. So that should be a lot of fun.
I'm going to have to start reading up on Wikipedia.
Yeah. We're going to have we're going to do like the actual trivia. We're going to have the little whiteboard and put up our answers that way. Yeah. So join us in the chat.
I'm in.
If you're definitely.
And Mark, we were going to surprise Garrett a few weeks ago. You weren't going to tell him.
Yeah, we had planned on having Joe on a few weeks ago as a surprise guest, but
I was just going to pop up on the show.
But things, unfortunately, other stuff happened, and we weren't able to work it out. Surprise!
Happened.
Garrett.
Speaking of stuff, I did want to ask Will, before you log off, did you get a chance to watch Saturday's episode with your top 10 list?
Oh no, I didn't. I will definitely watch it.
It went live 9 a.m. Pacific Standard on Saturday, and I haven't gotten any comments that I'm aware of, but I had fun with it. I got to play around. Like, it opens up with a whole Star Wars-esque crawl instead of me doing my usual cold open, and I had fun with it.
Cool.
I even accidentally cut off my own hand with a lightsaber.
Oh,
it grew back,
right.
Thankfully.
You've got another one. So,
yeah.
Well,
awesome.
Yeah, and I only need one for traffic, so.
There you go.
Yes.
Before you go, I want to see if I can.
I actually considered for that opening crawl using the Star Wars theme music, but I'm like, I don't want to get copyright claimed.
Yeah, I stay away from it. I get copyright claims for even not having I don't even know. It's like Star Wars imagery. I'm not even sure what I'm getting sometimes claimed on, but
somebody owns your voice and you just don't know it.
That's it. Somebody must have trademarked my voice while I wasn't looking.
Can you guys see that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was at the con.
Oh yeah, I saw that picture. That's awesome. Your first con.
First con.
Fantastic.
That's why she's my favorite.
And
what was funny was I asked
little Sith Lord.
Yes.
She's wielding the rare pink lightsaber.
Yes.
I'm sorry, not pink, lightish red.
Yes.
Rare, the ultra rare.
That's
awesome.
That was a lot. That was a lot of fun doing that.
Speaking of which, and Will, you'll get a kick out of this. A buddy of mine, he and his friend went down to the comic shop on Saturday because they were doing a sale on figures, buy two get one free. Well, his friend bought a copy. It's a rendition of Mace Windu, but instead of having his traditional purple saber, it's a blue saber.
Oh,
and then there was another one that they still have at the shop. It's a clear lightsaber. The blade itself is clear. So these are rare. I'm going to go back down to the shop and see if they have it still and pick it up because, gosh darn it. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, Brian, Will, why don't you guys, if you have anything to plug, Will, why don't you go first?
Sure. Just, thank you guys again for having me. And when I'm not here, and I'm not doing my day job, I am on my channel on YouTube, Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show, and it's mostly unboxing collectibles, doing informal toy reviews. And whenever I get down, our daughter works down in Florida, works in Disney as a caricature artist, so we get down to Disney quite often. So I try to do like Batu walkthroughs and things of that nature. And we are excited to finally, knock on wood, get our upcoming Galactic Star Cruiser voyage for people here didn't know, we had it scheduled for November, and Hurricane Nicole had different plans, so we got it moved to July with a discount. It was 50% off because they had to cancel it. So we were very excited about that because it is very expensive, and that is and now, by the way, they are starting to really offer some serious discounts, like 20-30% for Disney Visa card holders, things like that. So keep your eyes and ears open because for everybody I said that I've talked to or read reviews, it's like absolutely amazing, out of this world. Anything comes close to it. The only complaint people have is that it's very, very pricey, of course.
Yeah.
So, that's my channel, and I hope you guys will check it out. And thank you very much again for having me.
Thank you, Brian. What about you?
You guys can find me on my show, the Star Wars Canon Podcast, each week. Just kind of break down Star Wars news, some updated canon, take a bunch of mailbag questions, and just kind of talk about Star Wars canon in general. You guys can also find me doing the weekly roundup videos for StarWarsNewsNet.com and on their live broadcast once a week on Thursday nights, starting I think at 10 p.m. Central. And so we just talk about whatever came out in the last week and have a blast with it. So
awesome. Well, I'm going to have to wrap up here too because it's my daughter's bedtime and we got to put her to bed. So Garrett, why don't you tell the people out there where they can find you at?
Well, you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at GKJ_publishing, where I post things about my books. I've got a whole series of fantasy novels that are out. Book 5 just came out in February, and you can also see posts I do about my show on YouTube the right way. My YouTube channel is listed as GKJ Publishing, no underscore. And on that show, we do top 10 lists, like the one that Will was a part of on Saturday. It was a really special Star Wars edition. This next Saturday, I have an interview coming up. I do author interviews, and then at the end of the month, I do creative writing tips. And right now, we're talking about world building and using right now Avatar: The Last Airbender is the lens that we're looking through. But I also have a playlist on there about the hero's journey, in which I use the original Star Wars film as that lens, breaking down all the different points of the hero's journey using that movie.
All right, awesome. What about you, Joe? What do you have to plug?
Well, me, you can see my IMDb there.
Right.
Also, on all social medias, you can find us under Steamhouse Entertainment, where I will also plug Garrett, who failed to plug us.
Well, you got all the information, man.
Garrett and I have that we're working. So it's called The Last Battleship, science fiction, completely original story, although it does have Easter eggs from just about every science fiction franchise there ever has been throughout it. And you can see on the Instagram especially announcing who's going to be playing the different parts. We just signed Blue Temple. He's going to be playing the Admiral. Beautiful Instagram models and actresses, Avriana Rose, Bella Basque, Lexi Marie Hawks. They've all signed on. So it is going to be a lot of fun. And we have a special effects director. I just haven't got to announce him yet because I'm still waiting for his letter of intent. So if you're watching, Joe, I'm still waiting on your letter of intent. And other than that, it's been great. I remember why we had so much fun doing the show. And I will hopefully hear and see you guys more often.
I hope so too. Yeah, definitely would love to have to keep in contact. As for us, of course, if you want to get in contact with us, our email is warofthestars1@gmail.com. That is also our Twitter handle. All of their social medias are just through War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast. Of course, if you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/War of the Stars or go to our Spreadshirt shop, spreadshirtshop.com/War of the Stars. Our link is on our Twitter page, on the top of our Twitter page to go there. We are on all platforms with our regular podcast, audio form, Stitcher, Spotify. Apple Podcast, all of them. You can check us out there. And as always, remember, this is not just my Star Wars. This is not just your Star Wars. This is our Star Wars. Until next time, may the Force be with you.
This is the way.
Long live the Empire.
Kill the spires.